Now on CoastTV News.
Georgetown shelter gap, why that is being cited as a reason for the growing homeless population in the Sussex County seat.
Property reassessment problems.
We foresee this deterring some young and new farmers getting into the industry.
The feedback from farmers to the Delaware General Assembly. How much of a property value increase some are dealing with.
Good Wednesday morning, Delmarva. Temperatures are in the 30s. Wind chills are in the 20s this morning. The return of sunshine and also the threat of a wintry mix ahead.
Water monitoring, what Delaware is attempting to do to improve water quality in the state.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And it is Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us during our 5 o'clock hour.
Grace, middle part of the week after that soaking, and it was a soaking yesterday. Looks like we have a typical December day. A little bit of chill.
A little chill. It was a bit of a washout yesterday, but
goodness.
I do remember First Alert Meteorologist Chris Mastrobono saying that Wednesday, today, would be the pick
It was his pick of the week.
Good morning,
call.
Chris. Are you happy today, Chris, to wake up on a beautiful Wednesday?
Good morning, Grace. I am. We're not dealing with that rain like we had yesterday. We're seeing dry conditions across the peninsula. In fact, our area of low pressure has now pushed up well into the Canadian Maritimes, but we are seeing a tight pressure gradient between this high and this area of low pressure, so it's a bit breezy out there this morning as we take a live look in the Ocean City where it is 39 degrees. Temperatures are holding in the 30s, 34 Georgetown, 37 in Salisbury to 33 Harrington. With that wind out of the northwest, gusting to 27 Indian River Inlet to 21 in Salisbury. Feels like the 20s. So it feels like 28 right now in Rehoboth, feels like 28 Delmar, and 27 in Harrington. Mostly sunny skies through our morning and afternoon. It's going to be a really nice day, not as windy through the afternoon with temperatures topping out in the low 40s. So the next 2 days are going to be really nice and dry. Then as we go into Thursday, we're going to see a cold front push through. That brings a reinforcing shot of cold air. Then the threat of a possible wintry mix into Friday. I'll have more on that coming up in my full forecast here in a few minutes. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this hour, it's the continuing effort in dealing with homeless situation in Georgetown. The Supportive Housing Issues Committee, it looks at how to improve existing facilities like shelters, recovery homes, and pallet homes. Now, much of Tuesday night's meeting focused on accrediting and certifying local homes and shelters to better support people experiencing homelessness in the Georgetown area. And that committee has been given 6 months to study housing needs within the homeless population, and it is expected to report back to the town council. New this morning, this afternoon, Delaware Treasurer Colleen Davis has scheduled a press conference where she says she will deliver an update regarding her work and the future direction of the Office of State Treasurer. 2026 is the final full year of her second term. The Indian River High School alum withdrew her candidacy for Delaware's U.S. House seat in 2024 due to a cancer scare and several surgeries. Press conference is set for 3:30 p.m. in Dover.
Developing news, Delaware Governor Matt Meyer is joining a growing push to monitor microplastics in drinking water. Meyer is joining a petition urging the Environmental Protection Agency to add microplastics to its next national monitoring rule. Researchers have linked microplastics exposure to higher cancer risks, yet the particles remain unregulated. Governor Meyer joins 6 other governors, that includes Maryland's Wes Moore, on the petition. And for more information on how that petition could encourage the EPA to make regulation changes, head to the article on our website, coasttv.com.
The impact of property tax reassessment on Delaware's small business community, that was front and center at Legislative Hall on Tuesday. Lawmakers on a special reassessment committee held a 4th hearing to find out about the impact steep tax increases are having across all 3 counties. Leaders from the Delaware Farm Bureau and the Delaware Restaurant Association are voicing concerns over how the changes have added pressure to these industries.
We saw farms that went as high as a 500% increase, 600% increase. Long term, we foresee this deterring some young and new farmers getting into the industry.
So restaurants really want a fair playing field. They want transparency, and most of all, businesses need predictability.
The reassessment committee's final hearing is next Tuesday, with school districts and school funding set to take center stage. Happening today, key details for homeowners and businesses in Ellendale. Town Council is set to renew the new town property tax rate tonight. That's at the Town Council meeting. According to the town's website, the current rate is $2 per $100 of appraised value, a rate that has been in place since the last Sussex County property reassessment in 1974. Ellendale Town Council is meeting tonight at 7. And we are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. Congress is continuing its investigation into the alleged drug boat strikes in the Caribbean. And this as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth doubles down on the orders.
NBC's Chris Pallone showing us new response from the president and calls from lawmakers.
President Trump backing away from a second September military strike on a boat in the Caribbean suspected of trafficking drugs.
Somebody asked me a question about the second strike. I didn't know about the second strike. I didn't know anything about people. I wasn't involved in it.
It comes as lawmakers from both parties question the legality of that September 2nd incident when the Pentagon launched a second strike on an alleged drug boat near Venezuela, killing 2 survivors of the initial attack, according to one U.S. official and a source familiar with the Pentagon's actions. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says he watched the first strike live, then left the room, claiming Admiral Frank Bradley gave the order.
A couple of hours later, I learned that commander had made which he had the complete authority to do, and by the way, Admiral Bradley made the correct decision to ultimately sink the boat and eliminate the threat.
I think both strikes are actually illegal. I don't think you can just name people and say, well, they've got drugs. Well, where's the proof?
2 congressional committees have launched investigations into the incident. Lawmakers are questioning whether it constitutes a war crime, and if so, who's responsible.
Hegseth initially said all of these stories were false, to then 2 days later saying, well, they're not false, but it wasn't me. I'm not sure that's the kind of leadership we're looking for.
The defense secretary chalks up the confusion to the fog of war. President Trump insists U.S. strikes on suspected drug smugglers will continue.
I want those boats taken out, and if we have to, we'll attack on land also.
Admiral Bradley is expected to speak to lawmakers this week. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Happening today, updates on the projects at the Delaware Coastal Airport. According to the agenda, the Coastal Airport Advisory Committee expected to review progress on the new parallel taxiway B. Efforts regarding wildlife management also up for review. The Delaware Coastal Airport Advisory Committee is set to meet at 6 p.m. tonight.
Across Delmarva, potential changes for Berlin's town hall. According to the agenda of the Historic District Committee, they are set to discuss possible renovations today. Town officials say the project would focus on exterior changes. Berlin's Historic District Committee meeting is tonight at 5:30.
We're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Yeah, coming up on Coast TV News Today, estuary restoration efforts. What regional leaders are pushing to protect the Chesapeake Bay area.
Also, Coastal Corridors Conversation. We'll tell you how DelDOT is working with the community to several major roadways in Sussex County.
Still ahead, super fast delivery feature, the possible new option Amazon is testing now. And First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono is in the Weather Center. He's warm inside. It's a chilly Wednesday morning, and we check in with him next.
Hope this Wednesday morning is treating you well. Delmarva, as we take a live look in through Salisbury. Dry conditions out there. We're at 36 degrees, so temperatures are hovering above the freezing mark. We're at 34, Bridgeville, 36 for Hobeth, 39 in Ocean City, but it's still a bit breezy out there. So wind chills are in the 20s, so it feels like 28 in Rehoboth, 28 in Seaford, 28 in Gumboro. We are clear, and we're going to stay nice and dry today as our system that brought the rain continues to lift up to the northeast. High pressure building in, and our below average temperatures are going to continue. We have been below average since Thanksgiving, and that trend is going to continue. Even with that high yesterday, 54, we were kind of right on par as far as our average highs are concerned for this time of year. We're going to be in the low 40s through the afternoon today, under mostly sunny skies. I'll have the latest on that potential wintry mix Friday afternoon and my full 7-day forecast in just a bit.
On your screen, we are showing you a new diesel hybrid vessel. That is one step closer to joining the Cape May Lewis Ferry fleet. That's according to the Delaware River and Bay Authority. Construction on the 75-car vessel, that's planned to start early next year and be running by 2029.
New this morning in Cambridge, a major flood protection project is taking shape, and now people can see exactly what it may look like. The city says that the Make Cambridge Resilient project team has built a scale model showing a proposed berm along the Choptank River. The model goes on display today at Long Wharf Park, and a berm is essentially a raised strip of land used to divert runoff and keep high water from pushing into neighborhoods.
Things to know. The Salisbury Fire Department is sharing the number of calls it responded to in the month of November. The calls show a similar response to the amount the department says it responded to in October. For example, there were 335 fire calls in November compared to 337 in October. And the department's EMS unit says it responded to 999 in November. That was a decrease compared to 1,029 in October. The department says the amount of car crashes it responded to also decreased in November, with 45 compared to 56 in the previous month.
Amazon has announced a new ultra-fast delivery option for certain customers. The retail giant is testing the new feature called Amazon Now in Seattle and Philadelphia. The company says it will deliver household essential items and groceries in about 30 minutes or less. The delivery fee starts at about $4 for Prime members and $14 for non-Prime members.
A recent survey by the National Retail Federation found stores are expected to hire fewer workers this holiday season, up to 40% less. And that's just not bad news for employees seeking extra cash. It also means holiday shoppers won't have as much help in stores. Retailers say economic uncertainty is a reason for the hiring crunch.
If you're having a rough week, feel free to cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign-up and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
And we are in for a sunny afternoon. The below average temperatures are going to continue, and we're going to stay dry over the next 2 days. Cold front's going to push through tomorrow, bringing a reinforcing shot of cold air. Talk about wind chills in the teens and some wintry precipitation possibly by Friday. I'll break down the latest after the break.
Time is 5:17, and you are looking live at the waves rolling onto the shore in Ocean City. And Chris, always a good opportunity to go with a Blake Shelton reference for these type of days, because you are bringing back the sunshine.
I am indeed, in fact, doing that, Matt. And we're going to have sunshine really for the next few days, at least the next 2 days. And then Friday looking a little unsettled and even colder, as you'll see here shortly. Clear skies across the area, a few high clouds pushing through. There's our area of low pressure kicking up into the Canadian Maritimes as high pressure sinks southward. This cold front up across portions of Wisconsin, that's going to be moving through tomorrow. It's going to be a dry front, but it's going to be just reinforcing the cold air. 36 right now in Salisbury. Temperatures are all above the freezing mark. 34 Milton, we're at 34 in Bridgeville, and 38 in Lewis. But it is still breezy at this hour, gusting to 28 in Indian River Inlet, 22 in Salisbury, so it feels more like the mid to upper 20s. Feels like 25 in Harrington, 26 in Bethany Beach. Now, we do have small craft advisories through this afternoon for the Atlantic, from Rehoboth Beach down through Ocean City and Chickateague, and then we also have the small craft advisory up for a couple more hours up through the Chesapeake Bay. Temperatures are going to stay below that average high of 53 really for the next 7 days. And you can see a couple of these days we struggle to get out of the 30s. Highs today 43 in Lewis and Georgetown, 44 in Millsboro, 43 Cambridge, see a high of 44 in Salisbury, 46 Pocomoke City. So clear skies through the afternoon. A cold night will dip into the upper 20s to low 30s come Thursday. We'll see a few clouds filter throughout the day on Thursday, but a dry day, even a few ticks higher as far as temperatures are concerned. We'll top out few upper 40s ahead of that cold front. But by Friday morning is going to be cold morning, upper teens to lower 20s as far as temperatures are concerned. And then look at those wind chills in the teens as well come Friday morning. And then the clouds begin to increase through the afternoon, bringing a chance of some rain, snow, and even some icy precipitation as we go into the day on Friday. And then Saturday for Rehoboth, we're looking at a high of 42 degrees. So there's the system pushing in Friday afternoon. This is going to generally be a weaker system than what we had yesterday and track a bit further to our south, but you could see some mix along the coast and some snow for the interior portion of the peninsula. So we'll have to keep a close eye on this as we go into Friday evening. Could see a round of some light snow through portions of the Delmarva Peninsula, even some sleet and freezing rain and just plain old rain depending upon the exact track. But it's out of here by Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and we're looking at drier conditions by the weekend. But the below normal temperatures do continue. December 8th to the 12th, we're looking at well below normal temperatures for much of the east. Watching that wintry mix on Friday. The weekend right now looking all in all not too bad. A seasonable weekend, but more clouds than sun. 44 in on Sunday. And then look at those highs next week, early next week. Highs only in the upper 30s. Matt.
Thanks, Chris. Tuesday night, DelDOT invited the public to Georgetown Middle School where they answered questions, and they also heard feedback on their coastal corridor study. Its study looks to find ways to improve Route 16 as well as State Route 24 and US 9. Now, according to DelDOT, findings will allow them to envision what these roadways might need in the future.
A lot of different factors have influenced the need to evaluate are the east-west routes through Sussex County providing for traffic needs, improving safety, improving our access to jobs, things like that.
And DelDOT encourages those who do have feedback to find their public input site where they can leave a comment or interact with the surveys.
Up next, estuary restoration efforts. We'll tell you what hopes people living near the Chesapeake Bay have for the renewed focus on the area. We'll be right back. Taking a look across Delmarva, a revised roadmap for restoration efforts in the nation's largest estuary. Tuesday, leaders from across the Chesapeake Bay region met in Baltimore to update the Chesapeake Bay Watershed Agreement. It was last revised in 2014, and this update outlines a number of goals like reducing pollutants, improved water quality, and the protection of wildlife. The council says it hopes to achieve these goals by 2040.
We have to demand outcomes, and then we must make decisions based on data and results. And when we do this, we then can set and achieve realistic and demonstrable achievements.
The previous agreement set a 2025 deadline, and it was not met. That's why the goals are now being pushed back 15 years. The Chesapeake Executive Council says it believes the goals outlined in this year's revised version are more attainable.
And with that agreement finalized, we spoke with people working and living on the water about the proposal. People in Cambridge tell us that they're hopeful the agreement will keep the bay clean. Cambridge city officials say a clean bay is important for tourism and the local seafood industry. And some people working around the water say keeping the bay clean is important for their livelihoods.
Keep up on the work that they're doing on the Blue Cat. I mean, that is the biggest threat to the ecosystem, for all the states. We all share the same big problem.
And some watermen also say too many resources are going into building new oyster sanctuaries, and they say old ones should either be repurposed or reused by the commercial fishing industry.
Good Wednesday morning, Delmarva, as we take a live look in through Ocean City. Temperatures not all that bad this morning. We're above the freezing mark, 38 degrees, but it's still a bit on the breezy side, so it's creating wind chills in the 20s. Plenty of sunshine through the afternoon into Ocean City. Fenwick Island will get up into the lower 40s. Winds won't be as breezy, so a nice afternoon through Lewis and maybe heading over to Penny Lane and Rehoboth there. 40 degrees by around your lunchtime. Over in Cambridge and Crisfield, wall-to-wall sunshine from late this morning through the afternoon. Will top out in the low 40s, so a beautiful day ahead. Charles Falco, Millsboro, Delaware, congratulations on winning an umbrella from CoastTV News, and you can always call the First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. I'll have the latest on a possible wintry mix rolling in the peninsula on Friday, coming up in our next half hour.
Thank you, Chris. And after the break on CoastTV News today, Costco is in court. We'll tell you why the company says action is needed against tariffs.
Also, Water Watch, why Delaware Governor Matt Meyer is joining other regional state leaders in pushing for more regulation.
And help for housing issues. We'll tell you how one committee in Georgetown is working to get people a place to stay. CoastTV News Today will be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Water worries. The steps Delaware is taking in the effort to improve water quality.
Georgetown shelter gap, why that is being cited as a reason for the growing homeless population in the Sussex County seat.
Good Wednesday morning, Delmarva. Temperatures are in the 30s. Wind chills are in the 20s this morning. The return of sunshine and also the threat of a wintry mix ahead.
Airport progress, where the Delaware Coastal Airport is targeting upgrades.
This is Coast TV News Today.
December 3rd, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us today.
5:30 a.m.
Yes.
And we could have actually had a white start to our Christmas season if it was colder yesterday.
This is like, it's like you're taunting me with this. All I want is some snow. We were saying, Matt and I were both a little, I'll speak for myself. I was a little jealous of Penn State. They had a snow delay yesterday.
A snow delay?
Yes, I saw people making snowmen, and I wish I was in.
They had a snowman outside the Jordan Center for the basketball game.
Exactly. I just want to go out in the Coast TV News parking lot and make snow angels, but unfortunately, Chris said that wasn't
If that
possible.
happens, we will get video of that and we will show it to you.
Now turning to First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastroboto. And Chris, you're not tracking snow today, but we got some clear skies, which I guess will be just fine.
That's right. Good morning, Grace and Matt. No soaking rain today. We picked up well over an inch in some locations across the peninsula yesterday. That system is now kicking up into the Canadian Maritimes. You have high pressure to our north, but that tight pressure gradient between those two systems is causing some breezy conditions out there through the morning. We're at 36 right now in Salisbury, so most of the area is above the freezing mark. We're at 34 Georgetown, 35 Laurel. We're right at the freezing mark in Harrington, but with that wind gust to 27 in Indian River Inlet and 22 in Salisbury, it's making it feel more like the mid to upper 20s. Feels like 27 Indian River Inlet and 26 in Bethany Beach. So we say hello to sunshine today. We're going to stay dry over the next 2 days, and then we're focusing on a reinforcing shot of cold air for Friday. And that will bring the chance of a possible wintry mix as we go into Friday afternoon through Friday evening. I'll have more on that coming up a little bit later on the newscast.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this half hour, homelessness in Georgetown is being addressed by a new committee. It's the Supportive Housing Issues Committee. It was created in September, and it's looking at how to improve existing facilities like shelters, recovery homes, and pallet homes. Now, much of a meeting on Tuesday night focused on accrediting and certifying local homes and shelters to better support people experiencing homelessness in the Georgetown area. The committee has been given 6 months to study housing needs within the homeless population, and it will report back to the town council.
So trying to find ways to move people out of homelessness into permanent housing, and also focusing on what causes homelessness, what brings them to the area, and how they wind up here, and what we can do to bring them back into society and get them into a permanent housing situation.
Well, I'm new to the community. I just moved from Wilmington, where we have a lot of homeless, and I've been hearing all the issues with the homeless here, and I'm just trying to see what I can do to help.
And the committee is asking several organizations to present at their next meeting about the services they offer. Those organizations include Love Inc., Recovery Hub, First State Community Action Agency.
Developing news, Delaware Governor Matt Meyer is joining a growing push to monitor microplastics in drinking water. Meyer is joining a petition urging the Environmental Protection Agency to add microplastics to its next national monitoring rule. Researchers have linked microplastic exposure to higher cancer risks, yet the particles remain unregulated. Governor Meyer joins 6 other governors, including Maryland's Wes Moore, on the petition.
This afternoon, Delaware Treasurer Colleen Davis has scheduled a press conference where she says she will deliver an update regarding her work and the future direction of the office of the state treasurer. 2026 is the final full year of her second term. The Indian River High School alum withdrew her candidacy for Delaware's U.S. House seat in 2024 due to a cancer scare and several surgeries. That press conference is set for 3:30 p.m. in Dover.
The impact of property tax reassessment on Delaware's small business community was front and center at Legislative Hall on Tuesday. Lawmakers on a special reassessment committee held a fourth hearing to find out about the impact steep tax increases are having across all three counties. Leaders from Delaware Farm Bureau and the Delaware Restaurant Association were voicing concerns over how the changes have added pressure to these industries. The reassessment committee's final hearing is next Tuesday, with school districts and school funding set to take center stage.
Happening today, key details for homeowners and businesses in Ellendale. Town Council there is set to renew the new town property tax rate tonight. This is at its Town Council meeting, and according to the website there, the current rate is $2 per $100 of appraised value, a rate that's been in place since the last Sussex County property reassessment in 1974. Ellendale Town Council is set to meet tonight at 7.
Happening today, updates on projects at the Delaware Coastal Airport. According to the agenda, the Coastal Airport Advisory Committee expected to review progress on the new parallel taxiway B. Efforts regarding wildlife management also up for review. The Delaware Coastal Airport Advisory Committee is set to meet at 6 p.m.
New today in Lewis, there's discussion and actually some possible action on art. According to the agenda of the Public Art Committee, they are looking at the 2027 installation artist review. Updates are also expected for the 2026 installation, a piece from artist Wally Dion. Future funding is also under review as the committee says it could take action on grants from AARP. The Lewis Public Art Committee is meeting today at 5:30 p.m.
This just in, Black Friday and Cyber Monday are over, but holiday shopping continues. Walmart, Target, Best Buy, and other retailers say they've had to raise their prices this year.
Yeah, the companies argue they needed the money in order to pay new tariffs. And as Amy Kiley shows us, one of the largest U.S. retailers is challenging some duties in court.
Costco is suing the Trump administration over tariffs.
It wants the court to hold that those so-called reciprocal tariffs that the president started imposing on imports back in February, that those tariffs are unlawful.
The retailer is making its case in the U.S. Court of International Trade, but a similar lawsuit before the Supreme Court appears to be related.
Costco is trying to ensure that if the court rules that those tariffs were unlawful, that it will be in line for refunds.
Costco says it's been trying to keep down prices, but says tariffs make that difficult. It imports many items it sells and has to pay any applicable duties on those goods.
Some companies have raised prices, many companies haven't.
The Trump administration is trying to convince the Supreme Court to let the tariffs stand. The president argues they're good for the country.
We're making a lot of money because of the tariffs that are pouring in.
Costco's lawsuit comes in the holiday shopping season. The Federal Reserve reports affluent consumers are still buying luxury items, yet spending is declining for low and middle income Americans.
There's this fake narrative that the Democrats talk about, affordability. They just say the word. It doesn't mean anything to anybody.
It's not a scam. It's the lives that people are leading.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. as President Trump held a cabinet meeting in the White House on Tuesday. New overnight, this meeting comes as his administration deals with a number of issues, including controversial strikes against alleged drug boats from Venezuela, peace talks in Moscow to end the Russian war in Ukraine, and the effects of the president's tariffs policy on the middle of holiday season shopping. Trump claimed that his tariff policy could eliminate the need for income tax.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, library hosts holiday wrapping. We'll tell you when you can take part in free gift wrapping in Sussex County today.
Also, considering playoff chances, Salisbury University is continuing its run over the weekend at Johns Hopkins. We'll show you what the team is saying about its upcoming trip across the bay.
And local school supports local pantries. We'll tell you how much was collected by Cape Henlopen students for local people in need.
We salute David Ogden, who devoted 35 years of distinguished service to the U.S. Army from 1979 to 2014. He answered the call in East Timor, Iraq, and Afghanistan, bringing steady leadership to every mission. David concluded his remarkable career as the Operations Warrant Officer for the 1st Division Headquarters, guiding soldiers through demanding and complex operations. We honor his dedication, his courage, and the lasting impact of his service to our nation.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Good Wednesday morning, Delmarva. It's a dry start, but a cold one at that, primarily due in part to the wind chill. We're at 37 in Ocean City. We're at the freezing mark in Redden, 34 Georgetown, but with wind gusts near 20, 25 miles an hour. It feels like 27 in Long Neck, 26 in Bethany Beach, and 26 in Milton. We have high pressure just to our north that's really going to keep us sunny and dry today. Temperatures are going to be rising into the lower 40s through the afternoon under mostly sunny skies. Also to put on your calendar, tomorrow night we have the 3rd of 4 consecutive super moons, and this is the final one to round out 2025. This signifies the start of winter and the onset of dark, cold months ahead, and it's going to be right on cue with the cold moon because we're in for one of our coldest nights of the season as we go into Thursday night through Friday morning. We'll talk more about that, plus the threat of wintry mix into Friday afternoon coming up here in a bit.
Things to know: the Delaware Emergency Management Agency is sharing ways you can prepare your car for winter weather. According to DEMA, people should check their tire pressure regularly, keep at least half a tank of gas in case you get stranded, ensure your car battery is prepared by testing its strength, and carry an emergency kit just in case.
New this morning, students at Lewis Elementary helps pack a powerful punch against hunger. According to the Cape Henlopen School District, between November 10th and November 14th, students collected more than 2,200 food items to fill the pantry food drive. Families, staff, and locals dropped off canned goods, boxed pasta, cereal, granola bars, and other pantry staples. All donations were delivered to the Rehoboth Community Center and the Epworth Food Pantry.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, everyone. Playoff football has not yet left the peninsula. Salisbury University is still fighting for a national championship, but they'll have to go across the bridge this weekend to see if they can stay alive. The Seagulls sit at 10-1 for the year and will face 7th nationally ranked Johns Hopkins in Baltimore for a spot in the quarterfinals. The Gulls are looking to make it back-to-back seasons, making at least the NCAA quarters. Salisbury also goes into Saturday's matchup with a slight mental edge. Last season, the Gulls went across the bridge and hammered the Blue Jays 41-13. Johns Hopkins was ranked number 8 in the country at the time as well. Salisbury trailed 13-10, then rattled off 31 unanswered en route to the big win. Earlier this week, I caught up with SU quarterback Cyrus McGowan, who says he is confident in their chances of beating the Blue Jays, and given the upsets happening in the bracket, could have an opportunity to potentially host 2 more playoff games as they try to earn a trip to Canton, Ohio.
I think that's, the challenge with playoffs. Once you get to playoffs, it's a new season anyway, so whatever happened in the regular season from this year and last year, we're kind of erasing it at this point, and we're coming out with a new mindset. Like, we have to play our best game every Saturday to continue to dance. So, that's the mindset this week. We're playing a good J-Hop team. Every time we play them, it's a good game, and we got some history. So we're excited to go to J-Hop and see what's going to happen.
Kickoff is set for noon in Baltimore on Saturday. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 5:30, we have live boys high school basketball when Saints Peter and Paul host Archbishop Curley, and then you can catch the final score at 10:30 p.m. You can watch that game on DSN Plus along with these: Delmarva Christian at Milford in girls basketball. Middletown is hosting Glasgow in girls basketball. That one's also at 4. First State Military Academy travels to Delmar, and Gunston School is at Salisbury Christian. That's in boys basketball, and that one is at 6 p.m.
2 New York-based film groups have announced their annual awards, and they agree on 2 of this year's top movies. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
I wanted to protect you from all your mom's stuff, from all my stuff, even though I know that's impossible.
Plenty of stuff ahead this award season for One Battle After Another.
Both the Gotham Awards and the New York Film Critics Circle gave the Paul Thomas Anderson movie their top prize. Both groups named Iranian filmmaker Jafar Pahani Best Director for It Was Just an Accident, with the Gotham Awards also giving that film Best International Feature and Best Original Screenplay. Make-A-Wish is honoring Goldie Hawn. The Oscar-winning actress and longtime children's advocate is set to receive the Power of a Wish Award Friday at this year's Greater Los Angeles Wish Gala.
I want to see Vecna's heart on a platter.
He wasn't alone. Netflix says Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 1 racked up nearly 60 million views in its first 5 days. That's the best premiere week total for an English-language series on the streamer, and third best overall behind the final 2 seasons of Squid Game. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And it's time to showcase how you are decorating your homes this time of the year. Here we have the star of the show, not a space unfilled, as we try to take a look. There we go. Look at that.
Wow.
Beautiful Christmas tree decorations.
Oh my goodness.
Lights. And that picture was submitted to us by Al and Bill in Lewis.
Al and Bill, gosh, that is fantastic. If you'd like to send us your festive decorations, if you shared in our broadcast, if you want to look at your screen now, you can send in photos by heading to our website, coasttv.com/holidayhouse. The time is now 5:49 a.m. as we are taking a live look into a dark Salisbury. Sun is yet to come up, but Chris, we're looking for a sunny day ahead.
Yes, we are. Beautiful sunshine today. In fact, the next 2 days are going to be nice and dry before we see some unsettled weather roll back into the picture. Clear skies across the area. High pressure to our north. There's the system that brought us the rain yesterday, now kicking up into the Canadian Maritimes. And then this cold front you see across Wisconsin, Minnesota, that's going to be bringing in even colder air as we go into Thursday night. 34 right now in Salisbury. We're at the freezing mark in Redden. 34 in Georgetown, and we're at 35 in Bethany Beach. Still a little breezy out there this morning. We're seeing 24-mile-an-hour gusts there, Indian River Inlet. So wind chills are in the 20s. It feels like 27 in Dagsboro, 27 in Rehoboth. Now the winds will relax through the day today. So the smoke craft advisory for the Atlantic side from Rehoboth all the way down to Chicotee continues through this afternoon. This smoke craft advisory into the Chesapeake that runs through 10 a.m. that likely will be canceled once that time reaches. Now we're going to stay below average here over the next 5 days as the cold air continues to lock in across much of the east. Highs today in the low 40s. We stay clear and dry through the afternoon. Overnight, mostly clear skies. Cold night will fall into the upper 20s to lower 30s. Few clouds stream in tomorrow, but all in all, a really nice day tomorrow as well. But a cold front's going to be pushing through late in the day. That's going to be bringing in a reinforcing shot of cold air, and we're looking at one of our coldest mornings so far this season with wind chills in the teens. In fact, some temperatures may dip into the teens, upper teens to low 20s as we go into Friday morning. That's ahead of another area of low pressure that's going to be pushing in by Friday afternoon. This system's going to be generally weaker than the storm we had yesterday. Track a bit further to our south, so expecting some rain, sleet, some snow across the peninsula as we go into Friday afternoon through Friday evening. So we could deal with some slick conditions by Friday evening, still depending upon the exact track and intensity. But I think the further inland you go, the better chance you see of having a brief period of snow, and we could even see some sleet and freezing rain across parts of the area. Although we stay cold and dry as we continue in the month of December from the 8th through the 12th, we're looking at well below average temperatures. So once we get past the mix Friday night into early Saturday morning, we could see a snow shower or rain shower. We dry things out by the afternoon, staying below average temperatures in the 40s and even colder by the start of next week with highs in the low 30s. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. The Lewis Public Library is offering free gift wrapping, and that starts today to help take some of the stress out of the holiday season. Volunteers from the library's Teen Advisory Board and Cape High's National Honor Society are wrapping gifts today. It's from 4 to 6, and then again Saturday they're doing this. This is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. All materials are provided. If you need a box, just bring one.
This year's Bless Our Children campaign, it is in full swing, but as you can see by our tree, we still need some more cards, some more donations to make sure that every child has a present to open Christmas morning. We've got a new one here. The front says Silent Night, Holy Night. We've got a nice snowy background. And this has been sent in by Cora Bergen of Ocean View, Delaware. Thank you so much, Cora. Businesses can help by accepting the Shell Brothers Challenge of donating at least $1,000. And if you want to help send a donation in a holiday card, we might just read it on the air. Send a check or money order to the address on your screen or donate online at blessourchildren.org.
We have already raised over $190,000 to help children and families this holiday season. Again, we'd like to thank all who have donated. And the time's now 5:53 a.m. It's time to check in with our coastal pets of the day. Not one, not two, but three.
I feel like LeBron James there. Not one, not two. On your screen, let's check out. We got BB, Cece, and Busta. You can see all three dogs are very loved. These dogs were rescues who found their forever home, and they were sent to us by Jamie in Ocean Pines.
Oh, we love the rescue stories, and we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. If you send us photos, tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen now.
You scan that QR code, take a look at your screen, top center, QR code, scan it, get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
Sunshine returning for our Wednesday. Below average temperatures continue though. The winds though not too bad through the afternoon. We'll have highs in the low 40s. 46 for our Thursday. Even Thursday not too bad. We'll have a little more cloud cover through the afternoon and the evening. That's ahead of a cold front that's going to bring even colder air in here for Friday. We'll begin Friday in the teens and 20s. Watching that thread of a wintry mix. Could get a little slick. Friday afternoon through Friday evening, and then the weekend looking rather dry, but staying on the cold side through the start of next week.
I think that's a good trade-off, Chris, because I know you have the marathon in Rehoboth Beach, so we'll have a dry day for that. If just have that wintry mix on Friday, but dry weekend.
Yeah, overall not too bad. Doesn't look like a big storm system, but enough maybe.
Let's keep it that way.
Yes.
Let's keep it that way. All right, coming up in our next hour, finding homeless fix, where officials say they're seeing a gap contributing to the issue in Georgetown. That and more when we continue with Coast TV News Today.